Okay, these are some extra examples for section 10.5, which was on using natural logs and base E to solve problems. Now, I've got an example of both. A problem where we start with base E and we're going to use a natural log to solve it, and a problem where we start with natural log and we'll use base E to solve it. So let's start with this first one. First one is negative 2e to the 5x power plus 10 equals 6. Now, in this problem we have e. So we have base E to start with. We're going to use natural log to solve it. We're going to do the opposite of what's already there. Now, the first step, you need to make sure you get e by itself. Always the first step. Okay? So we're going to subtract 10. Negative 2e to the 5x equals 6 minus 10 is negative 4. Then we're going to divide both sides by negative 2. We do this in order to get e to the 5x on one side by itself. Now, negative 4 divided by negative 2 is positive 2. At this point, we're going to do the opposite of what's there. We have an e, so we're going to use natural log to solve it. We put a natural log on both sides. We're going to take the natural log of the left and the right. And what happens is that when the natural log and the e are next to each other, they just cancel each other out. So we have 5x equals natural log of 2. Now we're going to divide both sides by 5. We end up getting x equals the natural log of 2 divided by 5. We're going to put this in the calculator and we're going to approximate it to 4 decimal places. To put it in the calculator, we need to make sure we put it in there correctly. We're going to do the natural log. It opens a set of parentheses automatically. And we put our 2 in there, and then we need to make sure we close it and then divide by 5. So we can put that in the calculator. Again, we're going to approximate it to 4 decimal places, and when we do that, we get x to be 0.1386. And there would be the answer to the problem. Now again, that's starting with base E using natural log to solve the problem. Second example here, we're going to start with a natural log. We're basically doing the same thing. It's just we're using an e to solve it instead of natural log. So our problem is the natural log of the quantity 6x minus 3 plus 3 equals 10. First thing we want to do is get the natural log by itself. Common mistake is people will add the two 3's together, the negative 3 and the positive 3. You can't do that because the negative 3 is in parentheses. It's part of the natural log. So we got to take this 3 to the other side. We're left with the natural log of 6x minus 3 equals 10 minus 3 is 7. At this point, the natural log's by itself. It's got everything in the parentheses and the natural log with it. That's the natural log by itself. So we're going to take both sides, raise what's already there to an exponent, and put base e on the problem. So it's e to the natural log 6x minus 3 power equals e to the 7th power. Now again, when the e and the natural log are next to each other, they cancel each other out. And we're left with, in this case, the exponent. 6x minus 3 equals e to the 7th. It doesn't cancel on the other side because there's no natural log there. Now we solve it like we normally would. We're going to add 3 to both sides. It means we get 6x equals e to the 7th plus 3. Then we're going to divide both sides by 6. So e to the 7th plus 3 divided by 6 is what x is for this problem. Now we're going to put this in the calculator, approximate it to 4 decimal places. When we put it in the calculator, we need to make sure we put it in there correctly. We're going to hit second in order to get our e to the exponent. So make sure you hit second natural log with the same button, but for the e you got to hit second key first. And it'll start out like this, e with the exponent symbol and open a set of parentheses, and we're going to put 7 inside. Make sure you close it. If you don't close it, it's going to add the 3 to the 7 and make it e to the 10th, and that's not what we want. We want to close it, then add 3, and we're going to hit enter. We're going to do the numerator first. For our numerator, the decimal's in the calculator. It's about 1,000, I believe 1,099, something close to that, with a decimal. And then we're just going to leave that in the calculator and then divide by 6. So we end up getting ANS, stands for answer, divided by 6. That gives us a decimal of 183.2722. And there is a problem where we start with a natural log and we use base e to solve it. So these two problems are very similar. They're pretty much opposites of each other. Whatever you have to start with, you do the opposite to get rid of it. Natural log, use e. E, use natural log. Okay? If you have questions, bring them to class next time, but these are typical problems you'll see from this section.